person to be one who directly answers the
That,
nether realm.
oh, that's true. Just one or two shots is gonna blow up that nether realm.
Alright.
That's a good one. I don't know why they went for that.
And if they do decide to group up, imagine how happy Super Yoshi's gonna be just landing the perfect I'm offended towards multiple targets to bring them into a position that'll be very uncomfortable for them to play in, or where Andori could just freely fly over them, or where just Luis could keep using the infernal pursuits. But that'll mostly depend on whether or not Falcons plays the early game well enough. Because if it were just sheer sustain and prolonged fights, they have the kit to sustain all of that.
All right, so we're going into game number 2 here, and I think you're right. Andorio on the Fanny feels like it's deadly, and in this lineup, maybe the Pharaohs might have a harder time. You're right.
It also kind of lessens the potential macro plays that can come from Marco.
Super macro.
Super macro. I mean, with the
Why
push,
not?
right?
Why not?
If this goes to split push, I don't know. I mean,
We saw it yesterday.
yeah.
Woohoo! Here we go, guys. Who do you think's coming out on top here? It would be very exciting to see the classic Fanny plays, classic Fanny early game kills without level 4s. But you don't know. Kalti's also pretty good on that Suyo here.
Yeah.
Joe picking up the tenacity here. Whereas Super Marco has the Master Assassin. Just look at these two gold laners already dueling it out early into this match. They each have their own ways and reasons to be confident enough.
Joe dashes in front of Marco because he knows Andorio was there, but a good taunt from Ogwin.
Wow.
Catches Andorio mid-air.
The microton. I like it.
Amazing. I mean,
That could have been bad.
he just looked like he was walking, but then he had the unbreakable channeling all along.
That was smooth.
I actually thought he canceled the cable or something. Could you do that? Like, oh no, you got taunted. All right. So just a little bit more here, focus for Falcons, getting ready for the next turtle already. That's 4 people down on this side. It's gonna be very dangerous for Omega to contest this.
Yeah, again, it's all about controlling center of the map, and Team Falcons.
No purple, by the way.
For
Andorio.
Yeah, no purple. And now Kyle Teasy immediately secures the turtle as Flap Teasy just trying to evade Lewis.
Yep, they didn't need to do much. Team Falcons at this point, they need to worry less about the potential pickoffs that'll happen from Smart Omega as long as they are grouped up together, which was the case earlier when Ogwen was able to accompany Super Marco, and they're back at it with the double lanes. It's been a very quiet first 2 minutes of the game, but you just know how this is typical Falcons playstyle, just waiting for the perfect time.
Joe only has a Purify though, but he was still able to dodge out Evil Queller and forcing out Joe to just recall.
Right, so a lot of pressure on the map being put in by Falcons, who don't really have a big lead, but they do have the freedom to just go around here. Okay.
Commits the feathered airstrike already up against View Super Yoshi, caught in the mix. They're trying to look for a proper initiation, but just Team Falcons always 2 steps ahead. They know when Omega wants to try and do something, as Andorio working on Flap Teasy with the cables. Even used the retribution, but Flap Teasy catch him with a fist crack. Here comes the Nightmare Andorio, delivering the final blow onto Flap.
Alright, great response from Smart Omega. Flap Teasy didn't really decide to rotate out of the lane, even though Luis was already in the mid lane too. Falcons clearly didn't want to fight just yet, but Omega through Andorio just forced it onto a target who was away from the other members and whom he could just clearly take on by himself. He already forced out multiple skills, and now that is going to be somewhat of an advantage, you would say, for this upcoming fight. Not unless Falcons decides to prolong it a bit more up until the point where Flap Teasy, and there you go, he's already ready to fight again.
Okay, commits time offended already. Few with the Purify. Lewis also. That's initiation already used up by Omega. Luckily, Super Yoshi's I'm offended cooldown is just low. And now Falcon still has their ultimate coming in from Pew. They can full commit and try to get this turtle once again.
Yeah.
Have to be careful. Maybe another Shadow Stampede coming in from Few could be dangerous here for Joe or Ukir. So keeping their eyes on the map is going to be crucial. Marco is also very far away, so Ryoshi goes in though.
Here comes the flicker on to Flap, forcing out Flap to back off. And the Netherrealm as well. Lewis working on a 4. Here comes a fist crack coming in from Flap Teasy as Adoryu secures the turtle. AOG, they still continue the fight because they were able to bring down Lewis. Here comes Adoryu again with a steel cable. They managed to get open. Super Yoshi going down in the hands of Flap Teasy. Now they're trying to go for Ukir. No wings by wings yet. And Team Falcon goes for a 3-man trade.
All right. They decided to pursue the fight. They didn't want to back out just yet since Super Marco did use the SOD and caught up. There were moments wherein Falcons would have probably had a huge disadvantage, but the clutch, unbreakable taunt coming in from Owen meant a lot for them since they were able to stun two members from Smart Omega in a single line, which allowed Super Marco and his passive to be a lot more amplified. So they were able to dish out the necessary damage. And what better start for Super Marco on the Moskov with 2 assists and already a 1 kill in his hands.
Super Marco at this point feels like he can just destroy any tower that's in front of him. So they're trying to get him in a position where I'm gonna be fine. Just leave me alone. I'm gonna get some gold with me. The usual Moskov playstyle, though, right?
And the thing is, he's actually confident because there was an attempt from Andoryu a while ago, even using their retribution, but just one dash out from Super Marco was more than enough to evade a potential cutthroat coming in from Andoryu as Andoryu clearing out the bottom lane. Now we're just literally waiting for Omega to try and be proactive once again, just like what they did during game number 1. They have Super Yoshi's Flicker available now. It's just mere seconds away from another Flicker I'm offended play.
Yep.
Feel like it.
They're just being very patient now since the advantage is clearly in Falcon's hands. And Andoryu, though, he's still trying to go for it. Okay.
Nice try here for Andoryu. He has to keep the pressure on, right? He doesn't really have a choice. If you are a Fanny, you chose this life,
Yep.
right? You have to keep going.
And you just mentioned it. Being proactive all across the map. It's only that there's minimal information for Smart Omega, honestly. If you were to look at their lineup, there are minimal ways for them to actually successfully scout the areas. If they don't get to position themselves first in the brushes, Falcons will just be able to work their way towards starting the fights first.
Are they gonna go for this?
They
Looks like they want to.
they're trying to
Oh! No.
No, I'm offended. The provoking is still there, though. Here comes Few. Kyle Teasy working on the turtle. Onto the top lane. There's Andoryu trying to defend the top lane up against Super Marco. And that play from Falcon, they just literally got the turtle for free.
That was painful to watch, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, with the
Okay,
feathered airstrike onto Few still, however, didn't force out the Netherrealm. AOG connecting as well, plus the Spist break. Coming in from Flapteasy, here comes Lewis as well with Andoryu, but there again is the Netherrealm as Super Marco picks up another. But Showmancer's back with a kill onto Oakwood.
Too much pressure dealt by Super Marco across the map. It calls for a response from Smart Omega. Oh, wait!
Oh, Marco.
Jump in.
Oh, what the heck? Super Marco with a vintage play onto Ukir.
That was an SOD vengeance jump, right?
No, SOD plus Flicker.
Flicker. He used the flicker. Oh yeah, he used the flicker. Oh man, Super Marco. What are you doing? You're so aggressive today.
We were just talking about him putting pressure across the other areas of the map, but when he decides to engage in a fight, he can just deal the equally the same amount of pressure that was close for Andoryu here. So Smart Omega at this point, they're just really settling with all these waves that are being managed by Andoryu. There's a lot of catching up that has to be done. And look at
Wow.
now.
Falcons look like they're fanny hunting at this
Yeah.
point.
They can just freely accompany Super Marco from this point onwards, and they'll have no problems of controlling the map in no time.
Yeah, they got good damage just from the Moskov itself. And then maybe it'll give Ukir a bit of a harder time to get in a good position. Find that good position.
He already has the Trinity build too. So this is like a signal for them that they can engage in the fights.
Here comes Few once again to the rescue. Just cast the Netherrealm. Already used up the I'm offended. And Dory tries to go in as Ogwin casts the AOG. Might fall down, speed up destruction will connect. Here comes Marco once again, bringing down two. Omega kill for Super Marco. They try to go for Super Yoshi, and that's just Marco way of saying that's for hugging me, Joe.
That's that's true.
Oh, there's a pull.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, they're good. They're good. They're good.
well, okay.
We kind of almost forgot about that hug.
It's done, okay,
It's done, it's done.
My goodness, Flap Teasy, the way he was able to stun 3 members with a fist break, fist crack, and Super Marco making it just in time to join the fight for a moment, even just briefly to dish out the damage. And after that, imagine he just decided to walk away, go towards the Lord, and not mind the rest of his teammates because they were already capable enough to actually deal with the other members of Smart Omega all by themselves. So this was a perfect sequence for the Green Falcons. And there's another fight down bottom.
Another perfect sequence. Flap Teasy on the right target.
Jome is out.
Jome is out.
Jome is out. That's 23 seconds. I don't know what Falcons are doing. They're really choking out Omega's exits, Omega's game plan to survive here.
Okay, mid lane Holy Shields will be popped. And now we're just waiting for another Yoshi play, but few once again with the Nether Realm. Marco just trying to dish out the damage onto the turret, and they will do so successfully. No minions, though. And now that was an attempt. We're really asking Super Yoshi to do. Unfortunately, Few was just miles ahead for the Nether Realm.
Yeah, he had the Purify too, so he could just immediately cast it, and also the Nether Realm to ensure that none of his teammates will die despite that beautiful setup that was shown to us by Super Yoshi. So that's one more thing you have to think about. As long as Few has the Purify, Falcons are almost always confident enough to go in because they know that their captain
Yeah.
will take care of them despite what happens.
Yep. No matter how badly the situation is, just click Purify, click the Nether Realm. You did your job already. And after that, maybe if you can just kind of just command them to go around the map, what is the most vulnerable spot to attack here? And now Omega are suffering here. They're just trapped inside their base.
Yeah, and if it isn't that big of a threat, they also have the Revitalize anyway from Ogwen to somehow keep them alive. And I think there was already some Purify pickups, Flap already too, so they'll be able to somehow sustain this a bit more, provide a little bit more shields, and overall this 11k goal lead feels too massive for Smart Omega to actually attempt for a contest.
Yeah.
If they do want to go out of the map, probably the best would be getting the trades on the opposite sides, but not even the opposite sides would probably completely be safe because there's Super Marco who's assigned to manage all these waves, this even across the other side of the map.
Very consistent that they're able to just keep pressure on the other side. And Super Marco with his superhero landing sphere destructions, always perfectly timed.
Is it just Few, or I'm not used to seeing Few spam the recalls?
Yeah, he doesn't do that. He doesn't really do that
But
too
he's doing
much.
it now.
But maybe today he's just feeling it. You know, it's one of those days where, maybe we look like we're gonna have a hard time, but
Yeah.
not really.
I must say they did a very interesting player entrance earlier though. They had similar poses.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
For each role.
Yeah, that's teamwork.
So,
Right
I don't know. Few feels like he's in the mood for like some banners and all that today.
But Andoria, though, he's trying to make something happen.
Okay. Flap Teasy.
They're just standing there.
Literally sizing up Andorio. AOG Marco with the Lord. They catch Yoshi and they bring him down. Easy! Alongside Super Marco, they're gonna bring down 2 more. Lewis might be the next on the chopping block. It's just Andorio left alongside Joe. Beautifully executed by the Green Falcons.
I don't think they even need the Lord at this point. They can just run up into the base and break it.
They have 1 siege minion. Alongside them, Chome and Doryu trying to clear it out. Here comes a Purify coming in from Chome, but it never realm once again from Phil. And the fist break, fist crack will deliver the job and wipe out the barangay with a 5-man TP in the middle lane.
I can barely see whoever is individually teleporting here, and now it's done.
Team Falcons resurrecting their standing as they take another win.
Making Sunday and get a resurrection. You got Falcons with a 2-0 against Smart Omega.